Went to confess to my husband about something I did, but his confession was worse. Reposting because I forgot to add spaces between paragraphs, sorry. This might be really long, so I am sorry in advance. My husband and I, 30s, have been married for a little more than 10 years and have children together. We were happily married in the first few years, or so I thought, until I came across a message on his phone that came off as flirtatious. He dismissed it at the time as no big deal, and I left it alone. For the next couple of years, there were moments that I would catch him texting this woman, or vice versa, and it would end in major fights, where I would imply he must be doing something behind my back, but he insisted he never cheated on me. In my heart, I knew he cheated on me, but he denied it for so long, I felt like I had no other choice but to believe him. He finally stopped contact with that woman, and the years after that were really great. A few years later, one of my parents passed away. It was a very difficult time in my life, and I was basically inconsolable. My husband was there for me every single step of the way, and I am so grateful for him. While I was grieving, I returned to a hobby that my parent and I would share, which brought me joy. After a while, I made friends and was able to grieve less each and every day. Then one day, I met a man who at first was just a friend, but somehow it became something more. Long story short, we ended up having a long-distance fling, which involved sexting and sending nudes, for a couple of months, until I felt so terribly guilty about doing this, and it was cut off. The next several months was excruciating for me. I felt so guilty, I wanted to die. I just hated myself entirely for even getting caught up in something like that. I felt that if I confessed to my husband, he would simply just leave me. However, it always stayed in the back of my mind that my husband potentially cheated on me long ago, and I felt like this was my way of finally getting the truth out. So, after so many months of debating whether to come out with the truth, I decided to confront him about the one woman from many years ago. I figured, if I asked him first about it, it would help me confess my sins. Well, not only did he confess to cheating on me with her, it was clear that it went on for a few years before he broke it off. On top of that, I learned that he and his affair partner had to make the mutual decision of having an abortion, which was heartbreaking to me because supposedly, his affair partner was not pro-choice. And my husband kinda wasn't either, but... Anyway, I did end up admitting what I did, but it ended up being, not relevant somehow. It all became about me learning that I wasn't actually crazy and imagining things from all those years, and all I could feel was devastated. I was being selfish by trying to find a way to confess my sin, only to end up being extremely hurt by learning a truth that outweighs what I did. It's been a few months since learning about it, and I have forgiven my husband, and we are in a much better place now. With that being said, I have no one I can talk to about this, and whenever he is not here with me, my thoughts go to a dark place, and I end up torturing myself with thoughts of the past. Though I'll admit, with each passing day, I don't feel as hurt about it, especially when I know that my husband has done everything he can to prove to me that I am his #1 priority in life. I'm not looking for advice, but I did need to vent because I haven't been able to tell a single soul about it, given that I don't want my family or his family to pass judgment on our situation. Also, I hate myself enough to see what y'all will say about my situation, because even though my husband did cheat on me, I was not innocent in this situation either, so I'm assuming that there's not anything nice that can be said. If you've read this far, I appreciate it, and looking forward to hearing from everyone. Edit. Okay, I was originally trying to respond to every single comment, but now it's too much to keep up with. So I just want to make it a point that this post was made to just vent about a situation I was not able to talk about with anybody. I have already decided in my heart that I will work out things with my husband, which is going great. I understand the sentiment of many people, in which they think that it's impossible to forgive someone who did what my husband did. But the reality is, I do forgive him. I trust him, and we are moving forward. I will seek out therapy, as it does seem important to at least speak to a professional about my situation. I appreciate everyone's perspectives. It did help in some ways, as it led to important conversations needed with my husband. Thank you, everyone.